So, as we all now know, the Mueller Report is done, and he's not recommending any more indictments, and it shows no collusion with Russia, and it has made our mainstream media and half our politicians look like idiot conspiracy theorists, worse than when they all did the WMD cha-cha, you know, dancing around like they had anthrax in their pants or something. Honestly, it's like they've been doing the news for the past 2 years with their flies down and their nipples out, just talking out of their belly buttons like this. They have looked ridiculous. As an example, this video's been making the rounds online. Someone cut this together, and it's Rachel Maddow from one episode. This is one episode of her show.
Russia hates Russia, Putin, Russia, Moscow, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians, Moscow, Russia, Putin, Russia against us, the Russians rush against the U.S., the Russians, Russian government scheme, the Russians, Vladimir Putin, Russia.
Okay, make it stop, please, make it stop. That must be what it feels like to be inside her skull. Those of us with even half an iota of integrity have been screaming for 2 years now that this was a stupid conspiracy theory. The Democrats lost the 2016 election to a clownish game show host because they don't stand for anything. Unless they're currently, right? Unless they're currently running for president, the Democrats do not stand up against Wall Street, don't stand up to stop climate change, do not stand up to help your average worker, all of us out here struggling to make ends meet. They don't do shit, which makes them Republicans, all right? And they lost because they rigged their own primaries to stop the actual popular candidate from becoming the nominee. They did not lose because of boogeymen posting that picture on Facebook, all right? Do you see these veins in my neck? They've done a real workout over the past 2 years. So this week, our mainstream media reacted to the Mueller report and looked like they had just shat their pants and it was trickling down their legs, all right? Let's see the first few seconds of the Rachel Maddow show on Monday of this week after she learned what was in the Mueller report.
You knew it was going to be this kind of night, didn't you? You knew that. Yeah.
You mean the type of night when you beg forgiveness from the entire American populace for making our media look as professional as a handful of drunk leprechauns humping a piñata? At least with the leprechauns, the motivation is pure. They're humping a piñata. I like how she starts to laugh hysterically and then swallows it. She goes, oh God, mid-laugh, I just realized how fucking stupid I look.
You knew it was going to be this kind of night, didn't you? You knew that. Yeah, I tried to go on vacation these last few days. Did not work. I have questions. I have lots of questions.
Yeah, I bet you have lots of questions. Such as number one, how did I ingest the brain parasite that has taken hold? Number two, is it possible to teach said parasite that we already did the McCarthyism hysteria thing in the 1950s and it was not good, all right? And number 511, if said parasite Middlebury, Russia, hang gliding, Baba Ganoush, and I ask you why. Now, before we continue to look at the reactions of pathetic snake oil salesmen and women, I want to make clear how horrific this insanity has been. Donald Trump is corrupt. He's been corrupt since way back when he was selling Trump board games that included a special get-out-of-grabbing-pussy-free card, all right? Fun for the whole family. He was involved in thousands of lawsuits since before he was president for things like cheating contractors out of money and lying in business dealings. So I'm not saying Trump isn't corrupt. But by creating this laughable and baseless fantasy about Russian collusion that has now been completely and utterly refuted, the Democrats and the faux resistance and our media have caused deep harm. And here's how. Number one, they have made it look like Trump has the moral high ground and has been the victim of a witch hunt for 2 years. This gives him a great platform to run for re-election. Number two, they put the two most heavily armed countries in the world at the brink of nuclear war 2 minutes to midnight, according to scientists. Number three, they took all airtime away from the actual ways in which Trump, the GOP, and the corporate Democrats are destroying this country, extracting the resources, and ensuring our environmental collapse. Number four, they have made Trump's endless lies seem legitimate because his claims that he's been targeted by a lying media have been proven completely correct. But most importantly, they've made it super awkward for me to show off my Anna Kournikova tattoo I have on my inner thigh right about here. The cashier at the grocery store the other day was like, "Does that mean you're a Russian agent rigging our elections?" And I was like, "No, it means I like tennis and I'm a creepy old man. Get your head out of the gutter." Got that tattoo completely sober. So Rachel and her Maddow disease have put this country in a phenomenally dangerous place. But it's not just her. The reactions of the other talking heads to the Mueller report were equally unhinged.
We're setting a pretty low bar in this country if we treat this entire episode as some exoneration of Trump.
On the topic of collusion, this is the definition of exoneration. After a 2-year investigation that took hundreds of hours of testimony, there was no proof of your single brain cell conspiracy theories. So that's not a low bar, that's the highest bar. There is no investigation in our country that sets a higher fucking bar. Meanwhile, all the things that Trump could actually be taken down for, enriching himself for the presidency, gutting agencies, giving his children security clearance, bombing innocent people around the world, having the vocabulary of a meth-addled 5-year-old raised by wolves, all of that gets little attention compared to Russia. I mean, Barron Trump, it's true. It's true. I mean, Barron Trump is a teenager, and I think he has access to the nuclear codes, all right? But you assholes are stuck in some 1980s Hunt for the Red October bullshit fest. But just keep propping up that house of cards.
As some exoneration of Trump. What do we know? We know Russia intervened in our election to help Trump.
No, we don't. The whole point of the expression, "let's look at what we know," is to follow that with factual reality. So he just said, "let's look at what we know," and then followed it with nonsense. That's like saying, "let's look at what we know. We know that pigeons drive around on ski-doos to help finance their organ harvesting operation." All right? That we know. Look at the evidence of Russian interference we've got so far. It boils down to 2 points. One was that Russia hacked into the DNC servers, which has not been proven at all. In fact, all available evidence shows it was a leak from the inside the DNC, not a hack. And the FBI never actually examined the hacked servers. That headline is from The Hill, not exactly a fringe publication. Former DNC chair Donna Brazil said they destroyed the servers, the DNC destroyed the servers before the FBI could examine them. Why would one destroy servers that are under investigation? Do you think it's to cover something up? Nah. I think it's just because they enjoy destroying servers. They just fucking love it. I like skiing, finger painting, and melting down computer servers while they're under investigation. It's a good time. And the second piece of evidence that was that a Russian clickbait farm posted images like that. I'm not kidding, that's the actual image. And they created pro-Trump rallies such as this one. Again, I'm not kidding, that's the actual rally that apparently swayed our election. I mean, actually, now that I look at them, I think those people could get me to vote for Trump. I mean, 8 people with a combined 7 teeth can't be wrong, can they? I think not. So if you honestly believe that this is why Trump won and not because Hillary was a corrupt shit candidate for a corrupt shit party that rigged its own primary, if you believe that, then more power to ya. I hope you enjoy your coloring books and chasing caterpillars. But let's not stop now. Let's keep the crazy train a-running.
It may be harder for the Intelligence Committee, frankly, led by Chairman Schiff, given this decision on the collusion issue. It may be tough.
Is she lamenting that it may be tough for the Intelligence Committee to pursue collusion because it turns out there wasn't collusion? Yes, that probably will make it a little tougher. How dare the Mueller Report get in the way of our conspiracies with all of their reality? That's just shitty of them. And while we're on the topic, it was shitty of those investigators in Iraq to not find weapons of mass destruction, all right? Them not finding weapons made it harder to say there were weapons. It did. Super shitty of them. Well, I'm sure an actual congresswoman can't be this lost in Never Never Land, right?
Just because there was not enough evidence for a criminal charge of conspiracy does not mean that this very cozy relationship that Donald Trump has with Vladimir Putin, who, by the way, must be really happy that this came about, that this kind of cozy relationship that is not good for our country, in that it's not transparent, will continue.
Oh, my God. Her statements are like Mad Libs written by a child hiding under a desk during the Cold War. Putin must be happy that your dipshit conspiracy theory has been proven to be a dipshit conspiracy. Yeah, but shouldn't we all be happy when reality comes into play? Shouldn't that excite us all? Woo! But more importantly, she says Trump has this cozy relationship with Russia. But Trump has sucked for Russia. Trump has bombed Syria. He's trying to create a coup in Venezuela. He's expelled Russian diplomats, pulled out of the INF treaty, sent weapons to the Ukraine, and sanctioned Russia far more than Obama ever did. Trump is a fucking dick to Russia, okay? And guess what? If we're gonna survive climate change and the continued environmental collapse, we'll need cooperation with other countries. Have you heard of cooperation? It's when you work together instead of punching each other in your fucking dingle sticks. Trump has sucked for Russia, he's sucked for Venezuela, he's sucked for Syria, sucked for Yemen, sucked for America, and the only thing he's been good for are the rich ruling elite, which includes most of the mainstream media and most of Congress. That's who is secretly celebrating the Trump presidency.